My first experience of the split in my psychology, well, my first conscious experience, because it happens all the time, but when you become conscious of it, aware that there's been a shift, it was in Iraq in 2008. It was around about December the 12th, maybe 13, 14 or 15. And a colleague, a good friend actually, he exited the stage. He put his rifle in his mouth and blew his brains out. And at that stage of the game, I pulled the plug and said, I'm not soldiering it anymore. I just threw my weapons away. Because it was just insanity. It was just insane. And I'd been battling with it for a few years. And I said no. And I was a senior NCO, a sergeant. So, and I worked at the brigade, at brigade level. So now they've got a senior NCO who's threw his weapons away and said, I ain't doing it anymore, stick it up your ass. What do they do? Now, I recall those events with a very distinct clarity. It was the first time, I think, in my life where everything became crystal clear. That was one symptom of the shift. And I was lying in my bed, in my hospital bed. And because now I'm a hot potato, nobody wants me. Oh shit, get him out of here. Which was fine. And I was in the hospital ward with some injured soldiers as well. The result of mankind's perpetual state of war, internally and externally. And I'd been having my internal war for a long time. And I was lying there, I was listening to Metallica. That's an esoteric band. And I was listening to songs like Wasting My Hate, Bleeding Me. Great tunes, by the way. Great lyrics for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. And I was lying there and feeling really fucking miserable, actually. And then I had this realization that none of this is happening to me. And it all kind of lifted. And I felt nothing. Nothing. Complete disassociation. And the story in my mind's story, its identity. I'm this, I'm that, I'm not this, I'm not that. It just faded to nothing. It meant nothing. And that was such a neutral place to be. Absolute, crystal clear clarity. And it's returned to me many times since then. And I often find it now in the moment. When I'm working, doing something, and the mind starts saying, this is fucking shit. As the mind is wont to do. But I know the mind's just telling itself a story. And it makes life so much easier. And in conjunction with shifting the energy, life then begins to happen for you instead of to you. It's written in the book of Revelation. It talks about the revelation, the revealing. Words have great meanings, and people just speak words and don't understand what it means. It's the revelation. You know, but it's not group revelations. It's not any political party suddenly realizing. This is about an individual realization. And I often think to myself, oh, if only I could send them perhaps a nightmare. But that's what the tribulation's about. The tribulation is, the word tribulation comes from a tribulum, Now, in the Middle Ages, or forever actually, they've used a wooden board. It's called a tribulum, and they use it and they roll it backwards and forwards on the wheat or the barley or something, and they crush it to remove the husk. And then the husk gets tossed into the air and the wind blows it away. And where it's gathered and it's burnt off. And these tribulations are to crush individuals. And that sounds really harsh, but it's so that they have their own apocalypse change. Another great Metallica song, My Apocalypse. Fucking brilliant. But when individuals have this change, this apocalypse, and then they have these revelations, and they're looking at the affairs of mankind and all the rabbit warrens and the millions of white rabbits that you could follow, and then you pursue these white rabbits, but over time you start to realize that it's just an endless wild goose chase, like a dog chasing its own tail. And when you pare it all down and you get down to the real nitty gritty and you get beyond all the illusions of the mind, that it tells itself, oh, I'm Danny Benson and I was born here and I did this and I am that, and none of those things. I am pure consciousness. That's what powers this. That's what powers everything. Just pure consciousness. It's an infinite energy. It can't be destroyed and it can't be created. It just is, always in a state of perpetual existence. I am. I, the individual, am existing, a state of being, to be found in the moment. And it reveals itself so subtly. Why do you like what you like? Some of you might have, Metallica, ooh, how ghastly. But look at your own tastes. What does your individual consciousness like? What is it showing you? What is it trying to reveal to you? If it's trying to reveal anything at all. And that's the ultimate truth. Your state of undefiled, unprogrammed, unprogrammable consciousness. The mind can be programmed to believe anything it wants. There's enough deluded people out there. And we could start at the top of society and work all the way down. Let's start with the Queen, shall we? Yes, that great British German. The descendant of thousands of years of inbred nonsense. And they believe fervently that they are descendants of Jesus Christ, the Son of Man. Not the Son of God, the Son of Man. Allegory, metaphor for a secretion from the brain. The so-called sacred secretion is the Son of Man. That implies females as well. So who's the Son of God? You are. This is why he said, is it not written in your law that you are gods? He also said it in Psalms. You are an individuation of the great universe consciousness, experiencing the illusion of separation that is overcome when you clean your house and you go within. And it's no good just listening to me and agreeing. I don't care if you agree or not. I'm completely nonplussed either way. Because it's not about knowledge, at this level. It's about an internal experience, starting with the Kundalini. The Kundalini is the serpent that enters the Garden of Eden, your brain. Who told you you can't eat from that tree of knowledge of good and evil? Well, God said if we eat that tree of knowledge of good and evil, we will die. Did he really say that? Because God knows if you eat from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will be like him as gods. Let us go down there and confuse them, lest they become like us as gods and eat from the tree of life. Suddenly that little story has taken on a new meaning, hasn't it? Internally, remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So internally, let us go down there. That's the male and female aspect, the energy. Male, electric, female, magnetic. Let us go down there. So the Kundalini descends into the nether regions of the earth. This is the earth, your body, it's what you live in. And it goes to Sodom and Gomorrah and it stays there, curled up, the energy, being fed by the carnal desires, survival, reproduction. But when you deprive the carnal mind, you abstain, that energy, it's not being fed, it's not being entertained. And an animal that isn't being fed, like a serpent, will move and look for sustenance elsewhere. So the snake starts to move. Adam and Eve, after they'd been spoken to by the serpent, the Kundalini, they saw that they were naked and they hid in the garden. Adam is the ego intellect, Eve is the subconscious mind, which is beautiful. And God was looking for him. Adam, Eve, where the fuck are they? Why are you hiding behind a bush? Oh, because we're naked. Who told you you're naked? You're not naked. You've got the mother and father. You see how we've been deceived? Who told you you're naked? The book of Genesis is the start of the journey from the Kundalini rising. That's where the book of Genesis starts. Now some would interpret, oh, it's birth. Yeah, it's part of it. Some would say, yeah, it was Adam and Eve in a garden in Africa. Who cares about two naked people pouncing around barefoot, wearing fig leaves in Africa? It's meaningless. Well, how does that serve you? How can you respond to that? These stories give physiological, psychological happenings, understanding, and a great depth and the profound meaning. And these are secrets. These secrets are thousands of years old. And here I am, talking about it. How do I know these things? It was given to me by my older brother. I don't have an older brother. It's my own higher consciousness. Then you have these internal dialogues. Then you have epiphanies, eurekas, moments of understanding, clarity. And life's a wonderful thing. It is a gift. And they've loaded us up, humanity, with nonsense. Now I spoke about within, going down, let us confuse them. But what about out? As above, so below. As within, so without. So what has confused humanity outside? What is the hidden hand that is steering humanity at a subliminal or a subconscious level? Do you think humans could think these things up? Or is it something else? The great artists, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, they revealed clues in their paintings. That TV program, The X-Files, the truth is out there. No, it isn't. It's in here. Don't be deceived. Anything they imagine will be possible for them. Let us go down there and confuse them, lest they become like us as gods and eat from the tree of life. Keep thinking. Chew the cud. Read the book. Don't read it for understanding. That'll come later. Clean your house. Go with it.